This conference will now be recorded.
Yeah.
You're all set to go, Fran.
Thank you, Jamie. I heard. Under new business, I have the results of the CPC application from town meeting. I was talking with Paul, and Paul said that he watched part of the town meeting, and there was a bunch of CPC requests all grouped in together, and they passed. So it looks like come July, we can ask the town engineer to start with his RFP process.
Which sounds good. You know, Depot Road needs something.
The other two CPC requests that we went along with, or we were asked to support, they didn't go. There was one for the hydration stations and one for from the Real Estate and Open Space Committee. They wanted to get some CPC money for land off the 124 there where the bike trail crosses by the Cranberry Bogs. I read part of the reason why it didn't work was that the CPC didn't have enough information to recommend the town spend the money, so the town didn't do anything with it. They tabled it basically. And the other request that we co-sponsored, or we asked for our support, was this Harwich resident and the town water department wanted to put in rehydration stations. There were 4 stations, and the CPC did not recommend the money for that. So what that individual did was to turn around and donate the money himself.
Wow.
Yeah, that was what? How much? That was quite a bit of money, wasn't it? How much?
Yeah.
$5,000 for each station. There's going to be four proposed stations. One at Red River Beach, one at Brooks Park, one at the Chamber of Commerce, and one the rail trail crossing at 124. I guess in the area of the Pizza Shark.
Wow.
So
That's impressive.
yeah, hopefully. I did email him a while ago, and he said he had not heard from the water department as to their plans, or and so he doesn't know when they're going to do it. Hopefully, he said they'll get to it before summer.
There is a watering station that was installed in Orleans. I don't know if it's the same or something different. It was a very nice watering station, and I was duly impressed, and the water was cool and good tasting. So I hope they're along the same lines as I suppose they are, but I don't know.
That's over there by that parking lot.
Yes, it is. If you park in that parking lot and you take your bike over to the trail, right where the trail meets the sidewalk going over to Chocolate Sparrow, it's kind of tucked in the corner there, and it's a really nice watering station. No question about it.
Good.
We must have missed it the other day. A friend and I put a map.
It would be easy to miss it. Yeah. There's a bulletin board up there. That'd be the best way I could describe it. And it's right next to that bulletin board. And I sat there quite a while and didn't notice it. And all of a sudden I noticed. And I remember we had talked about it. So I went over and used it. And it was was really nice.
Fran, do you know anything? I know they were rebuilding the bathrooms in Brooks Park. And do you have any idea? I know, while they're rebuilding them, I know it's brand new, but I think they're going to put better sanitary, motion sensors and stuff like that for the sinks and stuff. But do you have any idea? Do you know? I only saw one DPW working there. I'm wondering, a water station be perfect there?
It would be I happen to know a little bit about that from the pickleball folks, but what they did, yes, they did put the different water handles on there, but they had to increase the size to allow wheelchair access.
Okay.
I believe that is now completed. Chris, are they using those bathrooms at Brooks? Yeah, they're completed and they're in use.
Oh, so it's probably too late at this point,
No.
for an outside watering station.
The water
May
department,
well be, yeah.
the water department has plans, so wherever they decide to put it, it's gonna go. The next item on the agenda is to approve the March meetings, March Bikeways minutes.
Yep.
Meeting minutes.
I
So,
approve.
Yeah, I'll second it.
okay. We would like to have somebody work with Paul for the next CPC application. It's not due until October, but if you can get your thoughts together or sit down with Paul and find out what's involved, he's got a lot of paperwork that he could pass on.
Paul, I can sit down with you if you'll have me.
Oh, sure. Yeah, we can do that. And yeah, it's not what it will involve before you commit is it'll involve, I don't know if it'll be virtual or not, 3 or 4 meetings with the CPC.
Okay.
Basically telling them what your plans are
All
after
right.
you submit them.
Okay.
And, getting your information to Jan. That way she's an awesome person. She's their secretary.
Okay.
And, getting all that stuff out there. And there's simple things, a follow-up, what the financial follow-up is. And
Okay.
yeah, so just to give you a heads up on some of that stuff. And I think Route, I guess we have our choice really. Either Route 124 or Oak Street, where
Right.
Brook Park could be our next one. I think in order was 124, then it was Brooks Park. But, I think at this point, the safety committee said, go right down the list. And
Right. Right.
can do that. And I do have some suggestions that in the future, maybe we'll get Griffin and you'll, at least via email, you'll meet our engineer. And
Yeah.
maybe we can do a have him do a pre-review. That way we know if we need the warning beacons or if we don't, because it's a difference of 15 gram versus 27, 28 gram.
Okay.
Okay, good. Then, yeah, we'll get together in a couple of months. Like I say,
So I mean, it involves me sitting down with you, I guess, and then I'll have you on speakerphone when I go to the meeting.
okay.
I'm just kidding you.
I know it. Yeah, we get together in August or something like that. It should be.
Yes.
I'll watch for it. After the town meeting has happened, usually by August, it's on their website. It's on the CPC website, the application. And
Okay.
I usually print a hard copy, So you'll get a pretty good idea from what I have.
Okay.
Next item on the agenda is a discussion of the letter the bike committee received about e-bikes. Eric, has the state come out with any statement about e-bikes on the Cape Cod Trail?
I have not gotten a definite. I just asked this week, and there's not a definite law saying, class 3 up to 15 or 18 miles an hour. It's still being left as e-bikes are allowed, but there is the legal rule about courteous and safe behavior on the rail trail. So that seems to be how it's being enforced. We've seen an influx of heftier bikes. I mean, some that aren't pedal assist,
Yeah.
like, God, that looks like a motorbike,
Yeah.
and
Now, is
and
that
I fear, and then scooters, like that zip. So
Yeah.
Behavior, because there's and the danger. I just got a letter, a gentleman who fears that people elderly getting onto these bikes who have never been cyclists and not knowing rules and being able to pull that throttle and hauling at 20 miles an hour. But it's going to be an interesting year. I would like definite rulings, and that would be really handy. And maybe it's, I fear a speed limit, because if we can all get along, then someone who's working out racing is polite and then can zip while it's empty. And then if you come upon people, we expect, courteous behavior. It's a family trail. So hopefully that gets known and you can't blast through. And we still get those people that, everyone's so self-centered. Whatever they're doing, that's what the trail was meant for. And I don't know what you can do in this world to educate to civicness, but I'm trying.
More
Eric,
signage?
well said. Well said. I think that this rule is really sort of a conundrum. It's really hard to address it, because I think, like, this gentleman is handicapped, and I have no fears. He also said he was a lifelong bike rider, and I would have no fears of him. And if whatever class bike you have, you could possibly be riding in just pedal assist. So let's just say you had a class 3, but you were going along at 8 miles an hour, just riding on pedal assist. It would meet the criteria of class 1. So it would be very hard to regulate based on the class of the bike, I think. And I think the way you said it was the way to probably address it. And maybe it needs to come from a higher source than us, because it would take.
Well, yeah.
So I'm in
What about
agreement with what you said.
Eric, what about more signage?
Signage as to what?
E-bike regulations. Maybe at the
Well,
at the
I'm going to
road.
need to get, what we're going to need to get is an official, like we call them CMRs, the rules of parks and what people have to do. So I need something specifically about e-bike usage, and that hasn't been written yet. So,
Okay.
and then if I can, I will. Hopefully, we'll post up and I'll, go for signage would be great.
will people really read? Here's the rules of the road for e-bikes while they're biking.
No,
Yeah.
no.
If part of it was, okay, you can't go more than, and I'm just picking a number here, 15 miles an hour. or 18 miles an hour, whatever it might be, to have posted speeds. And speeds are.
Well,
How
there
many-
are
how
paths.
many
That's
of us
what
go-
they do. They put a speed limit, and that might be the only way we can kind of control
Yeah.
behavior.
But there's no, you don't have the police, the cops on the road. I mean, it's just like all of us. How many of us do 55 on Route 6 too?
Right, right. So there's one, Bernie's the one ranger out there every day in the summer.
Oh,
And I have another ranger, but he's not really a big cyclist. So I will be lucky if he's, and he's spread out in the whole South region. So, how are we going to enforce, like you say, local, police can do some enforcement. They, at least at the stop signs, because they end up crossing town roads. And if cyclists run stop signs, they can definitely write them up. But I guess on the trail, it's really up to the rangers to try to model and educate as to the correct behavior. And I'm odd that we don't get that many accidents. I had an accident today in the park trail, but someone lost control going downhill, and pretty bad. Knocked unconscious, blood all over the trail, and
Wow.
is that
not fun.
with an e-bike?
No, that was the Fat Tire ladies' bike, which sometimes that tube wasn't as sturdy. I don't know how she lost control. Her
Right.
husband, they've been biking all day. They started at Dennis Cycle, and they rode through Nickerson, and they were just going going down the hill. And he said, I think she just got loosey-goosey, and let it rip down that hill and lost control.
Ooh, boy.
Couple other items, Erica, about the Cape Cod Rail Trail. Paul and I were out putting up boxes on Sunday, and I noticed a mutt mitt box at the Rotary. Is that something VCR put up?
No.
No.
So I have mutt mitts at in the Nickerson bike lot, and one at Cliff Pond. But those are the ones I stock. That had to be the town, Fran.
Because
The town maintains the barrels there at the Rotary. So
Okay.
that's which is a blessing, so they do a great job.
Another question. Up there in Wellfleet at the end of the trail, do you get any updates as to how the construction is going?
Hello?
No? Okay.
Hello?
we're just losing them.
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah, we hear you.
Okay, good. I don't know. It was in my car, and it was just bad. So
I was wondering up there in Wellfleet if on weekends they could open up the fencing and have the people ride through the Count Howell Road.
Well, I could see if that can be done. Staffing to go up there and be able to do that is going to be an issue, I am really personally out straight at the park right now with camping. And Chuck, well, he doesn't work on weekends, so it's a possibility, but I'll have to see. They very well might just have it. They legally want to keep that locked up until it's done.
Yeah. They wanted
So-
to do that at Bass River Bridge too, and that didn't work.
Yeah, well, that's probably what'll happen, and people will get by, you know. So I haven't even been. Have they started to lay any pavement on the other side of LeConte?
No,
Not yet. So that'll make people want to go when they see, oh my God, there's more trail.
yeah.
Then, yeah, right. So,
So we were up there putting the box up, and this guy on a trail bike comes charging past the kiosk and had to like really step on the brakes at the fence. And I felt like saying, you couldn't see the fence?
Go
Or you
through it.
couldn't see the top? And then he
well,
stood
you got to
for a
do
while.
certain substances, Fran, and it enhances your visual, you know?
Lessens the pain
Stood there
too.
for a while looking at the fence. Like, he wanted to
Oh
fuck-
my God.
But it didn't.
Well, that's good. That's
Uh,
good.
A lot of people using that little path down to the lower parking lot though. And I think
Well,
if,
I really think Wellfleet it would be wonderful to have a big parking lot, that one at Route 6 is the trailhead beginning, because there's that much activity that people want to start there and go. So I hope eventually the town realizes it's just a parking lot for a state park. It's not the end of the, it doesn't say this is the way to Provincetown, and there can be many other trail, continuance, but it would then at least allow people to get off their bikes and have that safe corridor of the Cape Cod Rail Trail all the way to Yarmouth. I hope it goes through, because I think it will be a blessing once it's in. Most towns have loved the Cape Cod Rail Trail.
right.
It
That-
opens up walking in the winter. It's nice to have a sheltered path, and it's not meant to be just a bike highway and looked at that way. So there's a lot of confusion in Wellfleet about that, and I hope eventually, I would love a sheltered trail all the way to Provincetown, and I'm open if somebody can magically get that land available. That's a difficult one. So
Lost my train of thought here. Did you hear from did that fellow from Wellfleet call you? The one that,
no, he never called me. No, I didn't. My most point I would want to tell him is about the beauty. We operated as a state park, as a sheltered biking experience, walking. It was originally even horse riding. It's not meant to be just a bike highway. And even though I appreciate the highwayness of it, and it allows people, I'm getting people who are going to Provincetown, they stay at Nickerson, and it is, it's nice, but that's not the limit of it. So I just feel that sometimes that gets lost in the shuffle. And, but I would love him to call me, we could talk about algorithms, I love algorithms.
Eric and I were part of a meeting with the Friends of the Cape Cod Rail Trail. And this guy from the Wellfleet Bike Committee put on a presentation about the Wellfleet Bike Committee's proposal to the state to continue the rail trail through Wellfleet. Currently don't like the state's plans, and the state decided to pause and wait for the Wellfleet Bike Committee or the town of Wellfleet to come up with an alternative to the state's plans for the bike trail. So this fella talked for a half an hour about the bike committee's plans, and they did a lot of studies as to other bike trails, and they even studied European bike trails. And they talked to various people throughout the state, in Boston. And Eric said nobody contacted him about his ideas on the trail. He's the one who has to maintain it. And the
Well,
guy said,
yeah.
the guy said, well, oh yeah, that's a good idea. Oh, give me your contact info, Eric, and I'll get in touch with you. And
Yeah, well, that happened, and we'll see.
yeah,
But the good thing is there will be some funding, but not much this year to do another small section of repaving. Harwich did get a bunch last year, so this year we're probably going to do this a couple of stretches in Eastham that are really terrible.
yeah,
Yes,
I saw
good call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish I had if I could donate money and was wealthy, I would just get that path repaved more often, you know?
Yeah,
Just like, oh, let's repave it. The whole thing, beautiful, you know?
yeah.
It's like pulling teeth. It's worse,
Oh, come on.
you know?
Oh, oops. No pun intended, right?
Yeah.
the next item on the agenda I have is Paul reports vandalism at the Rotary. They ripped out one of the map boxes.
Yeah.
And he was wondering,
Twice
or
last
we
year.
were wondering, looking for ideas on what could be done about vandalism at the Rotary.
Well, you know, the town put those "you are being videotaped" signs, but, you know, I think people knew that was a lie. So I don't know. I think there's one bad kid in that neighborhood because we had spray painting on the rock by the tunnel, and somehow we got a little bit in touch with that person, but it could just be a new set of kids that just, hey, look, that can rip off. Hey, let's do it. You know, so I'm all ears on suggestions to stop vandalism. I would love that to happen. It breaks my heart that we get these things and then they tag it, and you know, we need artists, not graffiti wrecking something. No one's going to appreciate your, you know, do it in art. That's what I had to tell a kid. You know, it's like whatever you're trying to express, this is just going to be called graffiti. It gets cleaned up and painted. I go, get a pad, get a book, do stuff, you know, like change people. The proper artistic channels, it does work eventually, you know? So, but I got no answers, Fran.
Okay.
Other than let me know if there's something, and you know, I do have a bunch of asphalt black paint to, because that's going to happen. All the artists that come out at night once it warms up.
Fran,
One
did
thing I forgot to put on the agenda was looking for other funding sources for our lights and perhaps a bike repair station other than the CPC. And when I mentioned it to Alan said that last year, the year before, Paul filled out an application for Mass Trail grants.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What?
I didn't get it last year. I applied another one for this year, and I think it's in June when I get notified whether we get it or not. but this one, it was specifically the way I wrote it up was for, it's a 80% reimbursement. And I believe, Eric, you're the one that gave me the link. And I'm just hoping that it's for the set of lights, I think, at Depot Street. We had to, it's just a reimbursement type of program. So it just goes back.
Right. Well, hey, let me, send me or CC a copy for me, so maybe I can add a support letter to whoever looks at it. Just
Okay.
from the, my care, perspective of maintaining the trail, and say what a good idea.
Can you share with us, or maybe when you got a few minutes, anybody have any other ideas of other places to get grants from?
I seen on the news about the police getting grants for safety equipment or for extra officers or other safety related items. And I was wondering if somebody could get together with the police department to talk about a set of lights in one of their sources for grants.
Oh,
it's
that's a
safety.
great idea, Fran. Yeah.
So if somebody could get a contact with the police department, I guess start with the chief and see who writes their grants.
I could try that if you'd like.
Okay.
That'd be wonderful.
All right.
Paul, anything new on the fencing?
Oh yeah. If you haven't noticed, because it's easy to notice when the fencing is down, especially along between the Rotary and Island Pond Cemetery. And when I mentioned that to Link, one day when I was through, I want to say last month, all of a sudden all the old fencing is gone, and it looks pretty good without it, because it was mostly all down. But
Yeah.
he did. I sent him an email Sunday or Monday, Fran, and he did get back to me. He says his plans are to put new ones up, but he didn't give me a time frame.
Eric, if the fencing, if the side of the trail looks good without the fencing, why do they put in fencing?
Well, usually the fencing goes in where they feel it's such a steep drop off. But, I was with the trail guy in Brewster, and there's a landowner who's going to get a legal crossing. But right by there's a really a huge ditch, and there never was a fence put in. We've never had an accident there. So, from a perspective of maintenance, it's really hard to mow or by those fences. It's time consuming, and to clear them, it's definitely harder. But I'm not a huge fan of them. Let's put it that way. Mine are starting to get pretty old, and I've taken some out and not replaced them in certain sections. I mean, things have filled in behind them. Maybe when they first put the trail in, it was really open in that, but you have thickets start to come in, people aren't going to bike off into the thicket,
Right.
So it already gives you a visual barrier, because you don't want to ride into one of those fences. That could do as much damage as a soft thicket, So
Could I recommend?
I'll have to take a look. I'll try to get on that trail and take a look, see what it looks like.
Okay, and then if so, before, if you can do it relatively soon, not to put pressure, a week or something, maybe then send me an email or something, and I'll get the link and say, hey, based on our review and your recommendation, we can you can save the town a lot of money and time by just not putting the fencing back up.
Yeah, that's expensive fencing.
Oh yeah, you know.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Has
So
anybody
if you-
been
All right.
by,
Okay.
has anybody been by the Pizza Shark, Milepost 5? We had a report that the lights were not working.
yeah, and I haven't been back up there. I did send an email to oh my goodness, Sean from the DPW who basically maintains them, or his group maintains them if need be, and but I've got to talk to him. He just never sends me an email when he says, "Oh, I fixed it. Something was wrong." So I haven't been by the Pizza Shack.
Charlie, have you been up there?
Yes, I rode through there a couple days ago, and I can't specifically say it was working, but because for whatever reason, I didn't notice it. Usually I try to make a mental note, hey, yeah, it's working, but I don't have any recollection. So I actually don't know. I sure could go look and find out.
Okay,
You want me to send you an email, Frank?
sure.
I'll take a look tomorrow and I'll let you know.
Okay,
Yeah.
that'd be great.
All right.
I got a pizza from the Pizza Shark the other night and brought it home. It's really good. It's one of the best pizza. Yeah.
Yeah, we're hearing that, so that's
You didn't notice the lights,
Very
though, huh?
fresh, and yeah, it was just lovely. And my grandkids, everyone gobbled it. So
You didn't share with us, though, Eric, you know?
no, I didn't. I regret that. So they'll have to come that time. So it's something to look forward to. That's all.
Fran, I have an idea to get a lot of people at our next face-to-face meeting. You know,
Pizza.
if you tell pizza to bring you'll bring pizza.
Yeah, okay.
We bring our own booze. No.
'Cause I was in a cooking class once at the community center. And after the group finishes making the various dishes, we all sit down at the end of class and share the dishes and talk about it. So I brought a bottle of wine to have with dinner, and the instructor got all upset. Oh no, you can't have wine at the community center. This is town property, and all, you know, they're
Oh,
gonna
geez.
fine us. They're gonna put us in jail for having liquor on town property. I said, I'm sorry. Jeez, I didn't think it'd be that big of a deal. You know, 8 people, a bottle of wine.
Well, it's strange how people draw lines, you know?
Yeah. Got to cover your, you know
We
what.
have a no alcohol rule in the park, but it's considered a tool. Like, you know, most people have a beer or some wine. But if everyone's very nice and, you know, being good people and that is fine. We get rowdy and they're, you know, in trouble. Then we don't have to say, hey, you're rowdy and trouble. We go, oh my God, you have alcohol. You know, I'm sorry.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's been, with COVID, we've had some of the best camping, but, you know, minimal trouble, which is great.
Wow. That's good to hear.
Yeah. No visitors are allowed, so you can't, you know, invite the whole crew to get smashed. So it's just who you go camping with.
Mm.
That's usually a quieter scenario.
Okay. To close out the meeting, do we have any other concerns or comments?
I'll make one. I said I would look at the sight lines along the trail, and somebody made a recommendation to take a picture. I think it was Paul. And, you know, Paul, I looked at those sight lines and I decided there really isn't much we can do. They are what they are, so to speak. And
Yeah.
I think they really have done it. I thought that it was mostly brush that was in the way, and that's really not the case. So I'm thankful you made that recommendation, Paul. It saved me from putting in a complaint that really was not. I didn't pay close enough attention. In other words, so thanks for the comment. And I don't think there's anything we can really do to change the sightlines. That I other than go on people's private property and stuff like that. But I'm surprised by that. But that just happens to be the truth.
Okay. I know you were going to close the meeting, Fran, but I see one thing on the notes that is the OCRT maps. Just to give you all a quick update, I got some quotes. Link said that basically the quotes that came out the least was in Orleans at Speedy Printing. And Link has an account there, and he's willing to pay for 2,000 maps.
Whoa, that's great.
Yeah, and so I called them yesterday or a couple days ago. Things have been kind of crazy, and to send them the digital part of it, and I just wanted to call her, before I send it because I didn't have her email, and I left a message, and they still haven't gotten back to me. I'll have to recall them again and tweak them.
Okay, thank you.
Hey guys, so just to say, yeah, Paul, if you need help with any of that CPC stuff, sorry everybody, I'm a bit discombobulated. On my second computer here on the right, I'm actually on a meeting at work. It's muted right now, so if I'm kind of pulled. But if you need help with that CPC stuff, Paul, I can give you a hand. I've, as you know, had experience submitting municipal stuff before. I mean, I wrote most of our stuff the first time, so if you need a hand, that's fine. And also, Eric or whoever was contacting, I forget who our local PD chief is, but if you need, I can email that local PD chief on funding sources if you want, if you need it. Jimmy Ponte had contacted me, said there was an issue with a sign at the corner of Hitching Post and Tip Cart. Obviously, that's in Chatham, not Harwich. I'm just going to pass his issue over to John from Chatham. I think I still have his email, so I'll just pass that on to John. Let's see, what else did I have here, guys? I think that's everything. Thank you.
Yeah, Andrew, you just made me think of something. Fran, did you mention to John O'Toole that it passed the town marker that was part of the $1,000 that we were going to share with Chatham? Did you share with John that it got passed for Harwich at all?
Yeah, I did. And he was waiting for the May town meeting, which I think was last Saturday. So I imagine he'll be contacting us in the future to ask for the, when he goes to order it, he'll ask for the money, I guess.
Yeah.
I know back in March, I was talking with, or emailing the woman up in Orleans, and she thought that in May we could get together, the three of us, and talk, but we never did. So, hey, Andrew, Jimmy contacted me also about maps. And I told him that because his shop is in Chatham, he should contact John about the maps.
Yeah, you're right. He actually, he contacted me about that, and then contacted me a few days later and said it was resolved. Is that your understanding, that he got it resolved through Chatham?
No, my question was, he said he's going to be opening up another shop in Harwich. You know where that's going to be?
I do not. Yeah, you're right. He mentioned he was going to try to have some sort of satellite shop in Harwich for this summer. Apparently, he's concerned about whether he's going to have the staffing to do it. I don't know where it's gonna be. I can give him a holler and I'll just email everybody and let you know what I find out. But
Just curious.
yeah, he was gonna give it a shot, and I just think he's concerned about staffing it properly. So yeah, I'll let everyone know what I find out.
Okay. Thank you.
Great.
Our next meeting is scheduled for June 17th, and I guess we'll continue with go to meeting for another
And
month.
Um, that's a Wednesday. I think that's the 16th, actually, if that's
Okay.
a Wednesday.
Okay, thank you.
Just saying. Okay.
Well, the 14th is a Monday, 16th. Okay. Very good. Thank you, guys.
Bye-bye.
Good seeing you all.
Yep, thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Fran, Paul, Charlie, take care. Eric, take care.
Bye-bye.
See you, Andrew. See you,
Take
Charlie.
care.
Bye, Frank.
Bye-bye.
Bye.